Hey Stitch family, it's Andrew. I've got something a little bit different for you this week. Normally my video updates is just me on camera, which I don't know, sometimes I think maybe you find that a little bit boring because Stitch is obviously about much more than just me, and me telling you about it, I don't know, it just doesn't seem like you're as connected to our members all around the world. So I've for a long time wanted to have other people come on board and be interviewed or have a conversation to talk about what's happening for them in the community or you know, other things that are interesting. So at our community update event at the end of November, we did something new, which was we highlighted a few people who'd been contributing the most or getting most involved in Stitch over the last couple of months. And the person who actually attended the most events was who's on that call. Her name's Kim, and you're about to meet her. You probably know, you might even know her already. But Kim actually had sent me a message about how much Stitch had made an impact on her life, and I thought it'd be great if I could get her to come on board and talk a little bit about that, because it's quite a moving story. But also I know that here other people who might be thinking about joining or thinking about what it could mean to them really could benefit from hearing those stories, because you know, we really need to get that message out there and help people understand why it's so important to them to, you know, get their social connections and get a community around them. So Kim agreed to join me, and we've just had a great chat, which I've just recorded, so you're about to watch that. I hope you enjoy it. This is a real experiment, so let's see how it goes. If you like it, please give us your feedback. Please remember to subscribe, like the video on whichever platform you see this on. And if you like the idea of telling your story, or you know, some aspect of Stitch, it doesn't need to be about you, it's more about something about Stitch, that there could be other people out there who might be in a similar situation and just wondering if they join. This is a good way for them to really find out what the community is like and see that we're all just real people. So, you know, we don't have studio lighting or anything like that, but that's what Stitch is about. It's about real people meeting each other and forming great connections. So I really love talking to Kim. She's fantastic, and I hope you enjoy it. Please let us know what you think. So, and here we are. So I'm really excited about this, but a little bit nervous because I've never done anything quite like this before. But Kim, great to have you on the show. It's not really a show, right? But it is a recording. This is the idea of us telling stories of our members who've kind of been involved in the community in some way, and telling their stories so that we can inspire other people to either get involved or just understand what Stitch means to different members. So Kim, first of all, just tell us, where are you based?
I live in Fresno, California. It's fairly large town, about 500,000 or so people. I'm 62 years old and live here with my dog.
So when did you actually join Stitch?
I joined Stitch around the end of August. So
really quite recently.
Yeah.
Yeah. And so just so we kind of get that journey for you coming into the community or finding out about it. So you're not from Fresno originally, right?
Well, I moved here with my husband, but he was dealing with some health issues, and he ended up passing away suddenly, very, very suddenly. Even though he had the health issues, you never expect, that it's the next day is going to be your next day. And I had never lived really on my own before, so I was not used to being alone. And I had no friends except for the ones in the nursing home, and no family nearby. So it was difficult transitioning to being just isolated, sort of.
So then I know you mentioned to me, well, actually, I've got something written here that you sent to me on the back of that call we had at the event in November. Do you mind me I'll just touch on a couple of things you wrote. Is that all right? Because you mentioned that, so that obviously with your husband happened, but then this year it got really severe for you in, what did you say, in around February, and then you got to a point where you said, I literally incapacitated me and I couldn't even get in my car and drive, left alone in my house with no relatives anywhere near or no friends around because of you moved.
COVID was exploding, and I thought, I can't mentally deal with, if I get COVID, what's going to happen? I live here by myself. Who's going to take care of my dog if I go in? Who do I have to call? Nobody. So, yeah.
Yeah, and I think you had said to me something about the nursing home also. You couldn't even visit the friends that you had there because of the restrictions. So in terms of your own social network, it was still really, really. Yeah.
It got really shaky, especially after after I went back to work for 1 month and decided I can't do this. So I resigned. So that when I resigned, that kind of let my last bit of social network go by the wayside.
When I hear what you're saying, it just makes me cringe because that's so much what we care about. And hearing someone in that situation is, I find that really hard to think about how tough it is. So how did, that was middle of the year, but August, you joined Stitch. How did you get to that point of saying, okay, I'm going to try something, or how did you even find out about it?
Well, I was trying. I had thought, there's got to be something because, we were locked down. Even if we weren't, I don't know anybody in this town as far as anybody other than the residents that I work with. Because honestly, I'm not one that makes friends very easily. It's hard for me to make friends. It's, and so it takes me a long time usually. So I never really did make any. So I thought I'm going to go, online. There's got to be some Zoom meeting or something, Zoom groups of some, but I tried in vain. I looked, there was a friends.com. I thought, well, that might yield something. And I joined that and no, that was not. So I was blocked at every turn. It's just like, oh, I just can't find anything. And then one day I forget, I don't know, I think it was just surfing, just blindly surfing. I saw something stitch.net and I'm like, something about social community. I go, don't have nothing to lose by joining and
try.
See what's going on.
But tell me about that journey then. So you sign up, and at what point did you stay? Because sometimes people join, but they don't do anything for a few months, or they.
Oh no, I did something right away. I was when I saw that I could actually do something. I was excited. I thought, well, I'll join a meeting. The first meeting I joined was Gina's woman to woman meeting. I thought, that sounds just what that sounds cool. And so I remind her today, I said, Gina, your meeting is the first one I ever joined.
Yeah.
She goes, oh, good.
Her meetings are very popular.
That's one I'm attending tonight.
Right, really?
Yeah, that's why I said I had one at 5:30 because she has hers every Thursday.
They're almost always booked out, aren't they?
They are, and you got it. But see, I Stitch is so much a part of my life, Andrew. I have tablets, notepads, Google calendars, notes on there so I don't forget. It's just a big production just to keep all my stuff straight about Stitch.
That's great. Well, so that people know, I haven't, I don't think we've covered this yet in the call, but the reason I highlighted this was we looked at over the last 2 months how many people had gone to the most events, and you were top of the charts with 78 events in 2 months. So that's close to one event every single day, which is pretty impressive. There are a few others who are up there too, but it's great you're doing that. Have you organised any events yourself?
Tons. Oh yes, yeah.
I knew the answer.
The first one, I know the first one. I thought, what, I'm just going to give it a try because I'm an introvert. Like I said, I don't really make friends that easy or relate to people. But I thought I'm going to do it. And just one gal showed up.
Let me just interrupt you there. So you say you're an introvert, but what makes you then say, if you've really identify as an introvert, what makes you take that step to do something which seems like a big leap, and that's suggesting something to the community? Is that because you had the confidence at that point, or you'd been to a few events, or what made you do that?
I just think I thought it would be really interesting to get involved, and why not? And just kind of push myself, Yeah. And I have to say that I have blossomed so much. I cannot believe it. I have never had so many friends in my I'm serious. I have like one best friend and the rest are acquaintances. And only 3 months after getting into Stitch and getting to know the people from the meetings, talk with them on the phone, we text, it's great. I've just exploded.
That's that. Like honestly, I hadn't really got the sense of exactly how strong that had been. You know, I don't get to see all this stuff. I get to see the events posted, but I don't know about the friendships necessarily being formed. And the only reason we do what we do is because of this. So it's actually fantastic for me personally to hear this sort of thing. There's going to be people out there who in the same situation you were in when you're in your dark phase, and you really being a part of something like Stitch could have been really, really helpful earlier. It would have been great if we could have helped you earlier. What would you say to someone like that?
I would just say, I don't know what I would have done or where I would be at this moment without Stitch. I honestly, 100%, I just don't know. I would say just take a leap. It's like it will open up a whole new world. I mean, there's something for everyone there. There's some, and if you don't find anything that you resonate with, make something.
Yeah.
And the possibilities are endless. Yeah. And just because I never thought I would be in this spot, like talking to you right now. Yeah. I mean, it was all I could do just to get through the day on every second.
Isn't that, I mean, honestly, I've just got tingles going down my back. That's such for me, a life-affirming story to go, you know, and we say this to our team, if we can just help one person, then it's worthwhile. But if we help lots of people, it's just fantastic. I've actually got to say to tear up. We put a lot of work into what we do, and just hearing that you can make an impact is really helpful.
Well, and it's not just me. Let me tell you we talk all the time. People, I've heard it from so many of my friends, so many Stitch members that say, hey, you know, these meetings, I am so glad if this wasn't here, I don't know. I've heard it so much. You would not believe it. Honestly. I mean, every single time.
Yeah, that's great. Honestly, it's amazing. It is amazing.
I'm
so glad. Well, yeah, I know, but remember, it is what we like. Obviously, it's what we do, but it's also what you do, what everyone in the community does. Whether they're showing up to an event, if they're even just responding to someone's message, those connections are so important. So, Kim, I think we've probably gone over time. I have no idea whether people will watch our entire conversation. We'll get to find out, I guess. But thank you so much for being willing to share. I know you were reluctant, and you said you really like to be an anonymous sort of person. So this is probably a big step for you as well. One of the things you said about you've got more friends now than you've ever had in your entire life.
That's totally true.
That just blows me away. I really, if we could do that for everybody, we would be just so happy. So thank you. Hopefully this video can help someone. If you are watching this video, please just give Stitch a try. You can learn about it. Come in. You can come along to a couple of events and just see for yourself. And hopefully you'll meet Kim or someone like Kim and take it from there. So thanks, Kim, so much. And we'll wrap it up and say goodbye.
You're welcome, Andrew. See you later. Take care.
Bye-bye. All right. And that's the interview with Kim. That was fantastic. I didn't expect to get quite as emotional, actually. Kim had told me she thought she might actually have a cry on the call, but it turned out it was me who had to struggle with it. I was really affected by the story, and it's great to hear firsthand what's been happening for our members. As I said at the front of the call, the front of this video, please like this video if you enjoyed it. Subscribe to the channel on YouTube, and let us know your feedback in the comments or just directly to me. We'd love to see if this is something that you like. We'll do a lot more of it, and you'll get to find some interesting stories about. We've got some fascinating members in the community. So if you didn't like it, let us know too, and we won't do it again. But I thought it was fantastic, and I hope you enjoyed it. And until next time, stay safe, look after yourself, and if you can, look after someone else too. Bye for now.